Hi, I'm Meg Chambly. I am the Executive Vice President of the Tennessee market at UDIG, and I have with me Reed Colson, who is our Senior Vice President of Data and Analytics at UDIG. He's going to share some more context and information with you on how to leverage this business case template that's available for free on our website. You can use it to help evaluate your technology investments. And so we thought it would be helpful to give you a little bit more context here so that you can make it useful for your business. We're going to talk about that. Reed, I'm going to let you introduce yourself and then go ahead and tell us why you thought this would be useful to build.
Sure. Thanks, Meg. As Meg mentioned, I lead the data practice at UDIG. We serve across the markets, both in Tennessee, Virginia, across the Southeast, Mid-Atlantic. We built, a business case template here that I'll share with you because we get into a lot of discussions with companies that talk about how they want or how they should think about the investment that they're making in technology. This isn't just data. It could be something that you use for data projects, software projects, intelligent automation. And so what we did was we said, hey, there's a way to think about the value and the cost that you have going into the investment that you're making that you can actually quantify. And it would be pretty straightforward for us to build a template for you to organize those thoughts and be able to see what you could get out of it. And it's really a supporting tool for making decisions around not whether or not just to invest, but maybe prioritization of what things that you're investing in.
Awesome. So how do you know if this is if you really need to use this particular template for a business case that's on your mind?
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with the size of the decision that you're making. In some organizations up to a certain amount, you have, local discretion, or it's, within your budget, or it's not material, or, it might be just absolutely required to run your organization. But when you get into a situation where you're thinking about a little bit larger investment, or you think there's some pretty significant benefits, or if you have multiple things that you're trying to decide between, this is one of the ways to help with making that decision. It allows you to quantify the costs and the benefits and sort of compare across different projects, particularly if they have different durations and timing of those costs and benefits, and get it on a level playing field to help you do that. You can do the back of the envelope, and this is just the next step beyond that, making it a little bit more robust.
Okay. Are there particular roles or people that you think might use the template?
Yeah, I think anybody that's trying to advocate for an investment in a project, right? So you could be a business sponsor looking to do a new reporting suite. You could be an IT leader looking to invest in sort of next generation technologies, migrating to cloud, things like that. So I think if you're in the role of trying to advocate for an investment, or if you're in the role of trying to govern investment, this is a useful template for you in evaluating, your technology project options.
Okay. Well, let's dig in. You want to show us the template and kind of show us around?
Happy to. Let me share my screen here, and this is going to pull up the business case template. And hopefully everybody can see this now. But what I did is we've set this up, and you'll see that there are about 7 tabs. This first one that I pulled up is the README tab. And this basically has the description and instructions for using the entire workbook. It basically tells you what each of the different tabs do. It also has a definition of some of the key metrics that you'll see throughout the template itself. So if you have questions about what certain things mean, this README first is a good place to start. You'll also see there are 3 gray tabs here: summary, data input, and calcs. And then you see 3 orange tabs. The orange tabs actually have an example filled out business case for you, so you can see how the data was entered. And then the summary is essentially a blank template. This is what you would use to do in a business case. So what I'll do is I'll start with the completed one. And so when you're done, meaning that you've entered sort of your cost and your benefits, you'll get a summary page like this that, you can enter the objective. You'll see some financial analysis around the timing of cash flows from both your expenses and your benefits that gives you a sense of things like total project cost, the net profit, how many months it takes to pay back. There's a section here to capture qualitative benefits. And then there's a section that'll show you sort of a yearly view of cash flows and a couple of different ways to be able to visualize that. It's a nice output. The way you get it is by entering in the data input sheet. And so again, we have more detailed instructions here, and you basically come in, and anywhere you see the blueprint is where you would be able to do data input. And I'll just go through this section by section. From the assumption standpoint, the first thing we suggest that you enter is your internal hurdle rate. Sometimes folks will refer to this as a discount rate or their cost of capital. If you're looking to figure that out, it's typically low double digits, high single digits, but finance teams are usually very well versed in what that should be for project assessments. So you can get that typically from your finance folks. And then you'll see there's two cost sections, and we've designed this so it was efficient for you. So if it's an annual cost, it's going to be the same. You can enter it in the ongoing annual cost. You can see, hey, how much per year and how many years will it run? And you can even include a bit of a description on it. Sometimes, though, the costs aren't the same every month or every year, and you might need to have them be a little bit more variable, or if they're one time. And you can enter them in this section down here. So in this case, you could see, like, for the hardware expenses, it was a investment every couple of months as it grows, along with contract labor for the first few months of the project, and then some data purchase. The one thing I'd advise is make sure that you're not duplicating across your cost sections. Otherwise, you might make the project look more expensive than it really is. Similarly, with the financial benefits, we have the two sections. So if you're going to see something like an increase in revenue that you expect every year, in this case, new monthly revenue from existing clients works out to about $6 million a year over 5 years, and you've got reduced costs of running the product. You can see those as benefits. So you can see an increase in revenue, a reduction in overhead. These are items that were the same per year on an ongoing basis. And again, in the section below, we see like a one-time increase in revenue in month 13 for a specific client based on them being the ones requesting the customization. So you'd have from that your costs and your benefits, and then you can also enter in below some of your qualitative benefits. What that does is that it goes into a calculation sheet. There's nothing that you have to do on this sheet, but what I wanted to share with you is it'll go through and it'll calculate net cash flow. It'll use your hurdle rate to do the discount. It'll calculate internal rate of return. And that's what is appearing here on the financial summary page. And so again, this is a useful way to think about evaluating projects, particularly if you're comparing across multiple projects, but on a single project basis to understand what the benefit is to you, both in terms of total and net present value. And so that's essentially the business case template. And as Meg said before, it's free to download from our website.
Thanks, Reed. So I am curious what if someone doesn't have access to all that information? It sounds like you definitely need to make friends with your finance team, but what if you just don't have access to all those numbers, revenue numbers, and that sort of thing? What should somebody do?
Yeah, I mean, and that's honestly often the case, right? I've done stuff like this over my career. I've had an idea, it would be really cool if we could automate this function or to create a more engaging user interface. And I think it has some benefit. Usually what you do is you start to go down the path of saying, okay, let me estimate what this is going to take to cost to build. Like, what's the labor, what kind of infrastructure, are there any software licenses, are there data we have to buy? And you're kind of doing that sort of work by talking to the domain experts, right? I might go talk to the technology infrastructure team and say, hey, if I need to spin up some new servers, what's that going to cost? How would you model that? And then I can capture that in this sheet. Similarly, I may go socialize this a bit and say, hey, if I'm going to do this thing, like, where else might you guys see benefits? Do you think there's a benefit in terms of like increased revenue or lower attrition, or does it reduce the amount of hours you have to spend in support? And you're capturing that through discussion. It's just a good process to have to understand the full cost and the full benefit. And so it's really through that socialization with your organization that you start to get perspective on both the costs and the benefits that then you can bring into this tool and be able to summarize and synthesize to share with others.
Great. Well, great. Well, yeah, we hope everybody enjoyed this. If you have not yet downloaded it, be sure to go to our website. You can search for ROI calculator or business case template and find it. We're also happy to help. Our contact information is also on our website if you go to the contact page. So feel free to reach out to us if we can help. And we hope you enjoy it.